tengo 12 años viviendo aquí en Cicero y casi conozco todas estas calles de aquí de esta área. Y todas las calles tienen casas abandonadas, todas.
I've been with the town of Cicero for 5 years. I am a building inspector. I handle all the vacant properties in the town of Cicero. I deal with tragedies like fires and helping people relocate into new homes. I handle signs. Anytime a business or something puts up a new sign, we have to go out and inspect. We do commercial and residential inspections for any type of construction.
En esta casa que tengo aquí atrás abandonada, yo veo casi todos los días actividad de que cruzan personas en la noche. A veces llevan una mochila o llevan algo en la mano y yo no los puedo parar ni decirles nada.
Most of the properties we have in Cicero, if they've been vacant for a long time, sometimes people break into them, steal things out of them like copper or metal to scrap it, and we end up having to board up the houses. It brings down property value. It's a big eyesore.
Me da miedo porque yo los veo y a veces están allá atrás y oigo las voces, pero a veces son de 3 o 4 personas que están allá atrás. Entonces, yo soy el único que vivo aquí en la casa, adulto, de hombre, y no puedo hacer otra cosa.
The town of Cicero was affected by the foreclosure crisis just like many other towns and cities were.
Around the time the housing market crashed, which was, I want to say, maybe 5 to 7 years ago, I believe that was probably the time that it increased the most.
Ahora que cuando se vino la economía para abajo, que bajó mucho, muchas personas perdieron sus casas y son las que están abandonadas y muchas las quita el town, de que tienen pagos atrasados o tienen penalidades y se las recoge el town. Aquí en el área de Cicero está muy pesado eso de penalidades de las casas porque el town se las quita.
Some families, either lose their job or can't afford to pay the mortgage. Some properties, the taxes become too high for people to pay, and they end up going upside down in the house, and you're actually paying money towards property that's not worth the same value as when you purchased it.
In result, the number of abandoned houses and vacant buildings increased. Cicero borders Chicago, and the foreclosure crisis also affected them. The abandoned buildings may be costing Chicago up to $36 million.
We have several programs within the town that work with vacant properties, but we work with the realtors. We have government funding from the state that we can either demo the houses or fix the houses up from the exterior, make them more attractive for people to buy. A lot of our funding comes from the state, so we only have a certain amount of budget per year to fix these houses or to just keep them up to date, mow the grass, make sure that everything is safe for them. So we work in all variety of ways for trying to fix that issue, but it's not easy.
Un rato el town de Cicero tiene que tener más inspecciones en casas abandonadas o cerrarlas completamente para que no haya acceso para cruzar de aquí al callejón, como si la policía viene por ahí y aquí andan los chamacos de la calle, cruzan para allá atrás y ya no lo ve la policía. Entonces el town de Cicero, el presidente es el que debe de arreglar esto.
I think demolishing them is probably the best solution if they're really in bad shape, but other than that, then maintaining them and working with management companies to bring the property up to code and make them more appropriate and appealing for people to buy.
There is not an exact number of the amount of vacant buildings in Cicero, but in a study that was done by Realty Track, Illinois came in second with 31,668 empty, distressed homes.
Si yo a mi mente le pudiera decir cuántas, yo he visto más de 100 aquí en Cicero, pero las que yo he visto, pero hay más todavía, pueden ser 500 o más.
I know that it's actually becoming less than it was a couple years ago. Now that the housing market is starting to pick back up, a lot of people are buying foreclosed homes at a much lesser price, building them and then flipping them and reselling them, which is a good thing. And actually, Cicero is right now #1 in the Chicagoland area for actually selling homes. So our problem is becoming less and less, as you know, as people want to fix up these houses, buy them for cheap, put some money into them, and then resell them and repurpose them. So.
Lo único que yo pienso que es el responsable de todo esto es el presidente del town de aquí de Cicero, porque pues él es la única persona que tiene el poder para limpiar las calles y chequear todas las casas abandonadas, porque son un montonal, no son poquitas.
I mean, it's rough. It's not something that a lot of people can do. Even the town of Cicero has their hands tied with a lot of these properties. You know, it's not like we can just go and put a family in there, or it's not like we can go and just demolish every house that becomes vacant to solve that problem. So, like I said, you know, maybe calling the bank, finding out who owns the property. There's a lot of third-party websites you can go to that gives you information on who owns properties. The Cook County Assessor's Office, you can contact them and try to figure out who owns the property. You can use your billing department, the Town of Cicero billing department. Most of the time we're willing to help anyone who, you know, needs information on a property. If they follow the proper procedures, which is applying for a Freedom of Information Act, just to get the information about the property, they have to go through certain steps. But it's, I don't know as far as advice I can give them, because I don't think it's an easy problem to solve.